What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Real Moves Podcast. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, and I'm here with...
I'm Jeff Luna.
And today we have another fabulous guest. Welcome, Mr. Reggie, Mr. TwooGees. What's going
on?
Man.
Yo, Reggie.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm
of
excited
course.
to be here.
As always, man, for anybody out there who doesn't know who you are, what you do, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Damn, man. I mean, we're camera. There you are.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, a creative, entrepreneur now, a business owner, a fiance now.
You do a lot of stuff.
A brother,
Yeah.
a son. Like, I kind of pride myself on doing it all a little bit.
Nice. Where do we even start then, man? Talking about that. So you mentioned now an entrepreneur. First of all, congrats and tell us a little bit about what that means and what you got going on there.
Yeah, man. 2020 was a crazy year. I think it paused a lot of stuff for people. And for me, I think that it was like a great pause, bro. It was like the pause that I needed. Before, I got to preface this too, because before 2020, me and my girl Sam, we're in a pretty serious relationship, and most people local kind of knew that, and we were just out of high school, just kind of on a mission to like save money, like do this shit together. I was going to school. I was working at WNBA at the time with the Sparks. She was working at Forever 21 doing she was a stylist.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of triggered it all, like our relationship. We started saving money. It's just weird. Like, long story short, bro, we were grinding for like 3 years. COVID happened. The market crashes for houses.
Right.
And I told her, I'm like, see, like, this is like, I told you I was on you about saving. Like, this is like the perfect time.
This is our chance.
Opportunity.
Yeah. So, longer story, even shorter, we moved into a condo. We got an amazing deal just because we were prepared for the down payment. We had the down payment ready. Interest rates 2.7, 3-bed, 2-bath. We're cool. In our hometown, still kind of local to where we could still be with our family because that was important. But also like, cool, we're doing our own thing now.
Yeah.
So we move into the house, and then now we're furnishing it and decorating it. And she was kind of handling the majority of it. And I was like, I was feeling some type of way. I'm like, let me get some of my kind of taste in here. And then it was like crickets on on the internet. You can't really look up. I mean, maybe now you can, but when you first think of like decor or home shit, you think of like the girl decorating.
Right.
Or like the girl's aesthetic and the flower vases and all that. But there wasn't anything like for dudes. So I was like, I couldn't even fault her. Like, she was filling the crib up with like her stuff. I'm like, nah, hold on. Like, what would I want? So I'm like, cool. I'm a cannabis smoker. Like, I do that daily. So I'm like, okay, I got to get some dope ashtrays on here. Candles. Okay, I like sneakers. I like streetwear, cause. So all these things just, at the time, I'm searching for. Like, just online. I'm just searching for like a Supreme. I'm just searching for stuff. And then I find out there isn't a lot of stuff for dudes. I had like this whole business plan in my back pocket. I thought it was going to be a clothing brand first. But then I was just like, fuck it. Let's just be like a one-stop shop for home decor, for home accessories, candles, vases, like, just little trinket trays or, just like a little accessories you could like kind of create your own aesthetic in your house or your room,
Yeah. So what's the name of that business today?
So that's the tabletop shop, the shop for the top of your table.
Nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna talk my shit. Like, I love the name and the slogan of it. Like, when I came up with it, because it's like, it's different. I never heard it before. It's like, people say it's unforgettable. Like, it's the tabletop
really
shop,
is.
and then the logo has like the words on top of a table. I don't know. I'm tooting my own horn here, but.
It's very straightforward, but it gets the point across. It's like, there's no question as to what you guys are selling, right? It's like
stuff for the top of your table.
Obvious. Yeah. And it's really cool. Some of the stuff is very unique. Like, I haven't seen before elsewhere, right? Like,
yeah,
it
and
really is
a lot of custom stuff too, like the candles we make. So like, it's like any other candle making. You have a mold, and you do all that stuff. So and we're gonna keep pushing that, and that's gonna hopefully be like I said, like a one-stop shop for home decor for unisex. No matter who it is, like, you can go there and find cool stuff and affordable cool stuff for your place. Right. That's kind of the motive.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's got kind of like a a streetwear type feel,
For
right?
sure. Yeah, just because like
Urban.
that's our personality.
Yeah.
So like literally what inspires like the products we sell or we make is just our aesthetic or like what we'd want. So it's a lot of modern, it's a lot of sleek stuff, but then it'd be like a pop of red or blue or green, you know, and like so if someone stepped into our living room, it'd be like a tabletop shop.
You guys have a spot right now that you sell out of, or you use online?
But yeah, that's a goal, man. Especially just because the name sounds perfect for a shop, like a storefront,
right?
Because then it's like you could sell the tabletop stuff, but eventually my clothing brand one day, hopefully. And,
of course,
you know.
the possibilities are really endless. You can kind of create your own little, a cool like, I don't want to say IKEA type, but kind of like that, where it's like somebody comes in and they can feel like, oh wow, I can see my house being like this.
Yeah, that
like,
makes all the difference.
Yeah,
like your space and your place like that. Like I was the type of kid that was like always rearranging my room.
yeah.
Like I would be in my room, or if I got grounded or something, it's like, all right, fuck it, let me move the bed here. So I've kind of in a weird way always liked space, or you like a clean space, but that's like half the battle. If you're like a creative or anything, bro, a clean space and like a space you like, and you enjoy, that's like could change your mood.
It really does.
It's true though. I mean, there's like nowhere for like dudes to like go and like kind of look at some possibilities for their spaces. So I think that's a good little niche because most of the places are definitely geared towards women.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of been my lane, and it started off super like dude-ish because there's a lot of ashtrays when I started just because that was what I was comfortable with at the time, and then we slowly started expanding. But yeah, man, I feel like it's a good idea and it's different. There's not a lot of stores where they just sell home decor and accessories. Like not couches or chairs, but we're talking the stuff that goes on top of them,
right.
And for me, keeping it affordable and reasonable and accessible for everybody is like the number one thing too. And with the accessories being so small, and like the way we do things, it's like we're able to keep it, affordable for a 19-year-old kid who picked up the apartment in Miami. He's picking up
anybody
his first stuff.
So right now, it's all online for the most part.
Online, and we do pop-ups at like the shop small soirees or like farmer markets and stuff, and those are cool too because it's like active selling. Like you could do passive where it's like you're on social media and you're just kind of waiting for a reel to hit or someone to click a link in the bio. Once we started doing the pop-ups though, I felt like it was more of like us being active. Like, all right, let's get in front of these people's faces, and people just walk by and they'll double take like, is that a Jordan 1 candle? And then it's, all of a sudden it's a new customer or something. Yeah. So
that's cool. So you guys have seen a lot of success with like actually going to these farmers markets and pop-ups and all this stuff? For
us, yeah. I will say like if you are going to do those, it's challenging and it's competitive. Like, you're going to a market where like there's going to be other people that sell the same or similar stuff than you. Like, how are you different? How are you presenting it? Like, all that stuff matters. And you just learn as you go. Like, our first one was like super successful, our first few. But looking back now, just like the aesthetic, just little things, how we were talking off camera, like on your first podcast episode, you just learn as you go.
Yeah. You just try it and then keep tweaking things along the way.
Yep.
So how long have you been in this business now? How long?
Not even a year, dude.
Not even a year.
Not even a year. And the 2-year goal is turning into like the 1-year goal now. So we're trying to finish this year strong. And I'm over here getting like all technical into like business talk.
No,
but like we're leveraging.
Let it out, yeah.
Now I'm leveraging that business for the Dreams and Loans clothing brand that's gonna, and that's stuff people. I'll be trying to get free game, bro. Like, it's frustrating because I try to like really try to put people on, but people don't listen. So
no, I feel that. Like, I always try to give advice too for people who are wanting to do things on their own or wanting to come up, and it seems like you're the same, right? Like, you just want to uplift other people.
Yeah, bro.
Sometimes it's frustrating because they may not take the advice wholeheartedly, or they may not do what you tell them to do, or whatever it is. But
then they come to you after, oh well, what's the secrets, bro? Like 2 years later, and like I feel it because I'm the type, bro. Like if anybody DMs me, like I'm replying within a day, or like 2 days, whatever. But I'm always replying. And like I guess my mentor was basically like, he does. We're on the topic of like coaching calls and if you should charge for them or whatever. And like for me, I was always the type to just like give free game or just talk and give advice and all that. And I never understood why people would like be so strict on charging for their time. And like full circle now though, it creates a buy-in from that person, because if it's free and let's say you're DMing me every month and I'm just giving you free stuff, you're wasting my time and your time. You're just, you know, we're just talking at this point. But now if someone pays and now you're really trying to give some advice and really put them on to something, now they feel some sort of like, you know, like commitment in a way.
Yeah, they're committed to actually see this through. They're actually putting money towards it, like you always say, right? You're not serious until you're putting money towards that thing that you always
even
talk
like
about.
a smaller example, like for me, right? Like my parents bought my sister's cars, like when we were younger, right? With me, oh no, you gotta save the down payment. You gotta buy your own car. Oh, okay. So when I bought my car, like I would make sure it's clean every time, right? Like every week I'm washing it. Car would get dirty. No hate towards them, but you know, their car would get dirty, shit everywhere, right? You know, and that's the difference, right? Because when you put up money, you treat it differently. You know what I'm saying? So same thing, right? When you pay someone for advice, right, you take it a lot more serious than someone giving you free game, you know, because people just take advantage of it, you know. And you're right too. Like when you do make it, because you are gonna make it, right?
You got it.
That's kind of like the mindset you have to have. But when you do make it, they're gonna come to you and be like, oh man, you know, remember me, you know. But people only react to facts and results, right? That's what matters, you know, factual. And then once you get the results, that's everything, you know. So, but don't worry. I mean, it's gonna happen, bro. You just gotta keep going. And believe me, you're going to see people come out of the woodwork.
Because that's like the spot where I'm at now, where it's like, man, like you are like, even like just like, I don't want to put no one on blast, but like if I'm working on like a cover art, like a cover art for like a song or something, and like a homie hits me up and I do it for free, it's a free exchange, right? So he might not need to even use that photo I made because, hey, use this if you want. You know, he ended up not using it. But looking back now, those hours I've wasted on free projects just for like, you know, homies, it's like a waste almost because it was free. Like no one got any, you know, it never, you get me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's partially one of those things I feel like you got to go through, and like you got to put in a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, nurture those people around you, especially if they're supportive of you and everything. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I can't do this forever, dog. Like I'm not going to keep giving handouts, this and that.
Because nice people get used, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
nice people finish last.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm a nice dude, but like, you know, it's hard because, you know, even my younger brothers or friends, you know, it's like, I know people view me a certain way, but it's like, nah, man, like anybody could do this. Like, I'll give you free game tomorrow. If someone wants to get on a phone call, I'll give you a step to like, hopefully maybe get you a few steps closer to your goal or just the direction, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm happy to give advice also. Anybody out there need any advice, drop some
hit
comments.
us up. Yeah.
Reggie, me, Jeff, whoever.
For real.
I want to talk a little bit about the business and what are some of the learning curves, some of the shit you've had to go through starting a business and be like, holy crap, like I'm in over my head. Like
shit, you got to just do things the right way the first time.
Yeah.
Like cutting corners, going the cheap route, especially as your own business, because like if you go the cheap route, it's harder to stand behind your business. Like I felt when early on, I was trying to cut corners, like early on, not now, but like the first 3 months, I was trying to cut corners in cost and shipping and pack, just little stuff. But you come to realize if this is a long-term thing, people see the tabletop shop and see me and my face. It's like, damn, like this is, and then it starts gaining followers. And now you're doing pop-ups. It's whoa, like this is kind of crazy because now it's like, this is a whole other entity of me that if this is viewed wrong, or if a package is late, or if I don't ship something now,
it's on you.
It's on me. And it's like, it's almost affecting my reputation too. But at the same time, it's a good thing because that's what keeps you on top of that shit.
Keeps you in check.
Yeah, I'm real conscious about that. So it keeps me on it. But the message is like, if I were to go back and start, I'd be starting everything thinking about quality and the brand and the image I'm putting out there. And that's what I'm able to do now with the clothing stuff, where it's
Yeah.
like I'm taking my time. It's going to be high quality, especially clothes. Like when people see me, I feel like they think clothes and shoes. So it's like, this has to be.
Are you gonna do cut and
Good.
sew and everything?
I'm not ruling that out because I have a cut and sew person.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I said, man, I'm gonna take my time with the clothes. I'm gonna do a first little preview drop in Halloween,
Nice.
just to kick things off. But everything that I'm learning from the tabletop, I'm hoping to apply to the dreams and loans.
Of course.
And just get that going, bro. If I could do one thing, that way, you can do the second thing that way, and you just kind of keep going.
Yeah.
How much like online research did you do before starting? Because like I always look at things from like a liability perspective, right? So like for me, it's like when you say candles, right? Like okay, before I put a candle, like what verbiage do I got to put on there? If someone inhales it, like with my luck, they would pass out and sue my ass, right? Like so, like what kind of research did you do before putting any shit out there?
The wax matters. So we use soy wax that's toxin free, because a lot of the, I wouldn't say cheaper candles, but a lot of the more normal candles have like certain toxins in them that might be toxic to pets and children.
Yeah.
So that's one. Or like this heightened awareness of like going vegan and stuff like that. Now there's like candle wax in the process where you could like go about doing that the right way. So I'm gonna be honest though, it wasn't too much research, but once things got real and like the drops came, then it was like, oh shoot, what am I saying on the website? Yeah. Even like a homie DM'd me, like, cause we just did, I did like a fake news release press that we were offering free shipping forever moving forward. And like a dude DM'd me like, yo, like the verbiage on this is a little wrong, because now people can hit you back up and get a refund for the shipping that they paid, and like put me on that way. But it's like, damn,
it all matters.
Yeah, it all matters. And that's just stuff like you're not going to think about that when you're starting. You're going to think about your designs or the website for sure. It's just, that's one thing though. That's an example of shit you learn as you go that you just won't learn if you don't go.
There's so many things that people don't realize, like the description on the product page, the email that the customer receives once they purchase
that part,
the email that they receive once it gets shipped. Like it's like
the tracking.
Oh my God, it's so many little things that you have to craft, and like you take the time to build out.
And it's all on you, dog.
Yeah.
You guys
Props
know
to you for doing that.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of work.
Especially for me, like I hate like wasting money. So like a lot of like YouTube research, like product reviews, even like down to the website. Well, what website am I going to use? And why is it better than this one? And so there's a lot of good content that I consumed about different things. Even starting like an LLC, a DBA,
that's the first
reseller
one.
permit, right? Like
that's the first step. Man, you're gonna lead me somewhere. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I agree with you guys. But you people just gotta start, man.
Yeah, if it comes back to mind, just bring it up. But talking about, you have this business today. You guys are doing well, and it's awesome to see you're gonna even start another business, right? Coming Halloween. Let's talk about the process of what it was like to even get there first,
let's back
right?
it all the way. Let's just go all the way back.
Let's go all the way to the beginning then talk to us about early days. So you're an entrepreneur now, go-getter, hustler, very into streetwear, clothes, kicks, everything, right? Did that start at an early age? Did you see that early on? And what was that like?
For sure. I want to shout out my mom, bro, because my mom installed in me at a young age that I could do anything. No bullshit. Like she was a figure that was just like, you could go to college, you could be rich, you could be an entertainer. Like my early dream, this is my first time like sharing any of this. Like my first dream as a child was to be like a singer or a dancer. So like the personality or like the ease I have in front of a camera was like in me at a very young age. I was wanted to be like Justin Timberlake. Like my mom got a microphone for Christmas. I was like 4 years old. Microphone with the speaker that I was singing over. I was dancing. I was like doing commercials and auditions. So like my first early like aspirations were to be like an actor, entertainer or something.
Wow.
And that was like early on. And that's just my mom just like, you could do anything. I was heavily into, and still am, like heavy into movies, heavy into music, like the arts, I guess you would say.
Right.
I was just so like embarrassed of that shit growing up. Like, you know, when you're a dude, like, you don't want to tell people you're in like doing auditions for plays and stuff, you know, because it's seen a type of way, especially like think of like
Back
we're in a
then.
different society now too. Or
Right.
like think about maybe we could edit this out. Think, not the past part, but like what I'm gonna say now. Like think about like, you know, in elementary and middle school when you're on the playground and your homies are throwing around the G word about anything, you know, the gay,
Yeah.
like now that doesn't slide, but you were gay if you got an A on your test, you know, like
You seen that guy on TikTok?
Yes,
You know what I'm talking about?
yes, bro.
He's spot on, too,
Yes,
dude.
spot
It's like,
on. I saved it for like this thought though.
yeah. Oh, you're sitting here and your shorts went above your knees.
Dude, you're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I saved that. Funny you brought that up, bro. I saved that video because I was gonna show my girl. Actually, I'm like, this was my thinking as like a kid because I kept the whole actor, and I still did. I took acting classes at Whittier College, bro. I went to a liberal arts school. People don't even know that shit.
Uh-huh.
But I was always so like I was a sports dude, and I was smart, but I would downplay the intelligent shit to be like the class clown and the
So
basketball
going back to
player.
your mom though, your mom did she have her own business or was she entrepreneur
No,
background?
man, dude, which is crazy, bro. I love my parents, but I'm gonna keep it real on here. Like, no high school, not, you know, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like, my grandparents, no. My grandpa, who on my mom's side, who I'd probably say is like my closest like person as a role model as far as like a successful life goes, was just like a hardworking dude who his parents came from Mexico. He has like 7, 8 sisters and brothers, and he grew up just like hustling, working hard and that whole thing. To where him and my grandma are well off now. But aside from him, you know, she had no like, which is just so crazy, bro, because she had no education or like even my dad or nothing, but just like she was teaching me math at like 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember doing like, I wanted to learn math and I wanted to do all these things. So yeah, I say that to shout out my mom and just anybody that's a parent too, because the kids are sponges, and no lie, all the confidence my mom installed at me at talking preschool and kindergarten stood with me, bro. Just like the fearless of like, I could do anything.
Yeah.
And like, that's a strong, you install that in your kid at a young age and like the right dominoes fall. That's really powerful, man. Cause confidence is like everything for me, like everything.
It's major. Because imagine all the things you would not have accomplished if
you didn't think you could.
Yeah, if you were told that you couldn't. It's kind of like Kanye, right? The way his mom brought him up.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And my mom was like she's like almost like a dreamer herself too. Whereas like she had me at a young age. She knew that her life was going to change. So in a weird way, it's almost like I feel like she was filling up my tank at that moment of like, all right, this is, you know, my son, like, let me just kind of get him right. So I thank her because she got me out of my shell as far as like, I remember doing like auditions, like peanut butter commercials, like Tilly photo shoots. Like,
well, that's cool.
You know, but it's crazy. She stopped, like, you know, valid reason. But the reason she kind of stopped at a certain age was like the rumors going around in Hollywood about, you know, SA, sexual assault and young boys and stuff. And it's crazy because during that same time, or like a few years ago, I forgot what actor it was, but 2 famous young boy actors came out and were saying all these crazy stories about like the directors and stuff like that. It's just crazy because my mom had a hunch and pulled me out of it and was like, didn't really let me go too deep into like really, you know, I wanted to be on Disney Channel and shit. But, you know, she pulled me out for that reason. But it's just crazy because looking back, the fucking industry's filled of kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, dude. I was literally just talking about this with my fiance yesterday, if not the day before. Like, we were talking about Amanda Bynes, right? And like how it's just, her life has gone downhill, right? Just because she was probably, who knows what happened while she was on air on all that and all that stuff. And hear about like the ones on like iCarly and all that. And that guy,
even the girl like
Dan Schneider,
Raven
Simone.
Yeah,
Even all of them, dude. It's just like,
but we could keep it happy and lighthearted and shit.
Yeah,
but,
kids are sponges. Kids are sponges.
Yeah. So shout out to my mom, and I guess like at an early age, I did have like kind of high ambition or just kind of not a clear vision, but I was definitely showing like my personality now then with confidence though, because of my mom.
But also too, I think it's really cool that your mom did that, because a lot of parents, I think nowadays, a lot of kids have that mindset like they can't do things, and the parents blame it on, well, I don't want to see my kid, get hurt, or I want to protect them, right? I want them to get a good job and go to school.
Yeah, and that was part of it too.
You know?
Yeah, and that's why I think my path is so unique, because like I was so scared of like the stereotype of like a starving artist or like a crazy artist, because I didn't necessarily fit the mold at the time of like an artist typically isn't good at school and isn't, playing sports, and their job, it's kind of like almost like a rebel kind of vibe to it. So like I always kind of was like self-conscious of, like, it's so weird, man, looking back now, but I was like so weird. But also like growing up too, like in that situation that I was living in, and throughout the years with my mom's confidence, right, that she's instilling me. But it's also like, we grew up with not, I have 2 other brothers. We didn't have the most money. Like I was wearing like loaner clothes at Edwards Middle School. Like people, don't know that, but it was almost like that. I say this to say that my mom instilling confidence mixed with like the environment I was in, because the whole argument is nature versus nurture.
Right.
But the mix of both, of having this like confidence and strong-willed energy with like almost like your back against the wall, where my mom's not going to pay for college. She's telling me that I'm going to go to college and get a degree and I might be successful one day. I guess I got to figure it out, So I had no choice, but like I put the whole artist and creative thing to the side for so long after the whole acting thing and all that stuff. And then it wasn't until I went to Whittier College where like they encourage you to take your art credit and it could count for other shit. So I was doing acting, public speaking, photography, digital design, at the same time getting my business and kinesiology degree. Yeah. So like even the college selection, looking back now, like put me in the position, because if you go to like a Cal State or something, you might not have those opportunities.
Oh, no, yeah.
I was doing like yoga and like all the art shit, bro. So I was getting like my itches out of the way of being like a creative in a way, while still like on that first plan A of college, like having a good job with the salary, that whole thing. And now it's like I have the bachelor's, I have the master's, we have a property, and now it's like I feel safe in a way to pursue the creative stuff. Yeah. So it's super unique, because I'm fortunate that I have time and I'm still motivated, because we're in our late 20s now, bro. Like people after 24, oh, you're too old and you got to, settle for a job. But it's like, I never felt that way.
That's good. A lot of people do end up feeling that way. And that's kind of, some people have kids and they have responsibilities. They've got to pay for stuff. I totally get it. But I don't think you have to always put your dreams or your desires on the back burner. Like that, you can always find a way, make some time, like you're doing. And I think it's
worth it. If it's really your dream, if it's really gonna eat you alive, like how some shit eats me alive. Like I don't know if you guys like, if you have like this itch to do something or create something, and it's really fucking with your mental health on a day to day, what's really important now? And that's what you have to tell yourself, where, I'm busy. I have a 9 to 5. I have a kid. I have a relationship, but everybody does. Do you think that shit's going to get easier if you get popping? Like, you think like if you're successful and you're a millionaire, it's going to be easier? Like, bro, like this is just like nothing, but it's only for people with that itch. Yeah. It's not for everybody.
Did you have that inside you before you started the business? You're like, okay, got my degrees.
Dude, I had the itch since I had the itch like for my whole life. I think my outlet was just like being a class clown and trying to be like the center of attention in school settings. Where like the itch, I feel like, was to do something creative or just create something and have people pay attention to it. I think that's everyone's kind of like motive. at the time, you don't know what that is though. So I was just trying to like go to parties, dance, be the life of the party, show my personality, which worked, you know, because I'm a people person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't until really like Whittier College when I started doing all those classes, and then specifically that acting class that people don't even like. No one even knows I was in acting classes. But like no that idea. Stuff just picked it all back up, and then I think in 2019. So man, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah, give it to us.
So I go to Pioneer High School. I graduate. I go to Whittier College. And I'm doing this whole side. I'm trying to, on the low, like, I don't know why I'm embarrassed, because it's a cool thing now. Like, everyone wants to be creative. On the low, I was trying to, like, get my toolbox ready of cool Photoshop and act, you know, just all those skills. I get my degree in business and kinesiology, and then I get a job in the WNBA with the Sparks. So now this is like the second, like almost like my second life, it feels like, because now I'm going to school full time for my master's. I'm doing it online. I'm working a full-time job in Culver City, and I'm commuting from Whittier.
Damn.
Love that drive.
Yeah, the drive is an hour and a half there, 2 hours back, bro.
At least.
And I was making good money at the time for my age. I was doing sales stuff, so I was also getting commission. I'm in the office, like making a sale, and then I have my laptop and I'm like doing school assignments. And then sometimes I'd wait out traffic and hit the gym. So like for two years, bro, it was just straight the WNBA, Sparks, and my master's degree for literally from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Hustling and grind.
But it was cool because I was stacking up money. I wasn't doing shit but gas. I was paying for lunch, and I was meal prepping at the time or whatever. But that allowed me to save up for our down payment on the property.
Right.
At the Sparks, though, so I'm there for a whole year, and I'm good at sales because I'm a people person, but that's not where my heart is. Like, you know, aside from like the creative stuff, I'm really into like community stuff, you know, and giving back and really doing that stuff. So, you know, throughout our WNBA season, I'm killing it. Like, I'm 1 year in and I have like the second highest revenue in. I'm selling tickets, selling sponsorships, doing that whole thing. And then I go up to our VP at the time, like the VP of the Sparks, bro. I'm so like ignorant because I'm just like fresh out of college.
How old are you?
I'm like 21 or 22.
Oh yeah, that's young.
Yeah, you know, and in like Derek Fisher's offices over there, like it was like a crazy environment to be in, but it was so cool. I go in there and I'm basically telling her like, yeah, I'm trying to run the community relations department, this and that. And then she goes, okay, well, you know, hit these goals for this season, you know, bring this money in, and then, you know, we could talk in the off season. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know, I kill the rest of my season, like not only for her, but I'm getting commission too. So, you know, I'm saving money for literally, my mindset at the time is a house. Mm-hmm. I'm saving money for a property. And that's what people got to understand too, is like, if you do have a goal that's 5 to 10 years down, like you got to start speaking, you got to like take care of it now in a way. So I was already kind of had that vision at that time. Kill all the goals, season ends, I go back to her office and I'm like, you know, so what's going on? You know, I really like, there's an open position in the department. And then she goes, says something like, well, you know, you're really good at sales and, you know, here's like a promotion. So they offer a promotion at the time. This is like 2019 and I'm that age and it was like above 75K at that, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
And I decline it. And I say, no, like, I don't want to be, I don't want to, my heart's not in sales.
Yeah, it's not my desire.
So then she goes, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to have someone whose heart is halfway in, halfway out. Yeah, you know, you have 2 weeks. And I was like, my life low-key flashed before my eyes because I went from like making an absurd amount. My mom raised us on 30K, 3 kids. And in 2019, I was going to be making that amount and I declined it. And like my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, you know what? I'm still getting my master's degree. I'm going to still look for a job or whatever. So I was actually unemployed for like 3 months, finishing my master's degree. That story is to say, if that situation doesn't happen, the dominoes don't fall Like if I stood doing sales and went the route for the money that most people would, that itch or that feeling in me would never have gotten out. It's a grind, you know, in that kind of job. And my whole life is different. But at that time, for some reason, I had the ignorance and the maturity to like deny the promotion and like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it seems like it's like that one thing that your parents want for you, your grandparents want for you. You seem to want it for yourself growing up, right? Like you're striving and then you get offered this position, this job, and it's like, I don't want it. Like my heart's not there.
Not like,
and it's like, it's just crazy. I can understand that totally. During that time, so you go in and you decline it. Are you like, you shitting bricks? You scared?
I'm gonna be on. No, the first week, like after, I was playing it cool, bro, because everybody
just
knew.
because you were young?
Yeah, it was because I was young, bro. But also, like I was really good. Like I'm a motivated person, bro. Like if I come in somewhere, like I'm gonna do my thing, bro. Like, and everybody was expecting me to kind of be there long term and get a promotion.
How old were you
do
at the
all
time?
that. I was literally, I graduated Whittier in 4 years, so like 22. So 22 years old.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're old enough and shit, but yeah. So I just kind of took a leap of faith and followed like this unknown feeling at the time. At the time, I don't even know what it is. Like I'm thinking like the stereotype sales. Like, oh, maybe I just don't like sales because it's too like I'm viewed as like a shiesty salesman. So that was like my thinking. But now looking back, I think it was just this feeling of like this isn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a crazy feeling. Like you can't explain the feeling, but like I knew like the money wasn't tempting. Like I wasn't tempted at all. Like I was like, nah. And like me and Natalie White, she's still there at the Sparks. I still keep in contact with her and I laugh about it because I was just an ignorant kid, like walking around with my chest out and like, you know, but that led me here. So
I see a common theme. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, and I think it's important that most of them have sales jobs when they're younger. Just through doing this podcast, talking to people in my network, it's like most of them have sales jobs, and I think that's important. Like you learn to be told no. You learn like, you know, the other guys, all that stuff, and I think it's like crucial.
Now I'm able to say like everything's sales. So now I'm like a community engagement manager. Mm-hmm. So I basically I tell people I'm like Robin Hood. I spend the grant money from the rich people and I spend it in inner cities in LA County. So I have a pretty dope, and I'm fortunate to have a remote job now where I could balance everything a lot better. But at the time, yeah, it's crazy, bro. We could talk forever about this.
So, but that itch you had, man, that's. I think you're right. Like the dominoes don't fall, but it was meant to be. That's why it did happen, right?
For sure.
And I think too many people think like, you know, when you're a certain age, you're supposed to do these things or you're supposed to go this route because you're whatever 30 years old now. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Like, is your life like a book? Are you following a script or what? You know, like I think it should honestly be what makes you happy and what you ultimately want to do.
Yeah. And some people do, you know, some people are like that.
But I tell everyone, like, you have a niche, right? Or an itch to do something, right? But take it serious. Don't not take it serious and just do it like, you know, part-time,
a hobby.
Right? Yeah.
That's insecurity hiding because I'm low-key still like that. I didn't even know what to call myself. You know, I was hesitant to call myself a fucking entrepreneur. I have 2 businesses and it feels like you have to stand on it at a certain point. It's just all mental though, because I catch myself like that. And I'm glad you brought that up because that is important too. You have to carry yourself.
Own that shit.
Yeah, because that's how people view you. If I'm walking around and I'm hesitant, oh yeah, like this is just a hobby. Oh yeah, it's just a hobby then for everybody else too.
Yeah.
But if you walk around like this is da 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 and I'm doing this and I'm gonna be that one day, oh cool, I'm gonna follow this dude and see the journey hopefully. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've just never been like a trendy person, right? Because right now it's trendy to be an entrepreneur, right? Like it's cool, but it always wasn't like that, you know.
For sure,
my whole family was like entrepreneurs, you know. It just always was like in my mind, like always trying to think of, you know.
That's cool. So you
stuff.
grew up with it kind of almost being a norm, or like did you grow up and kind of know you like wanted to be an entrepreneur in a way?
No, not really. I mean, I knew it was always possible.
Okay.
Right.
You
So-
just maybe chose not to pay attention to it.
In the early days, yeah, I just was just always one thing. Like, you know, my aunt, my mom, they just had their own business. Like, you know, they would always like pick us up from school. They always had time. Like, oh, I can make time for this, or take you here, or take you there. So I just had that mindset of like, okay, like, you know, you see something like every day. It's like, okay, it's possible to do that. You know.
So yeah, it
That's
wasn't
cool.
even like for me. I don't even know if it was an entrepreneur. Like a lot of my early dreams, or even my itch, still is like. Not necessarily an entrepreneur, but like the vision's almost like I just go back to like the earliest memories of like me imagining like it's like an entertainer of some sort. I don't even know. Like I'm on the stage with a microphone.
Do you still want to act? Do you still
For
want to
sure.
dance?
I'm a for sure act.
Yeah.
I'm a for sure act. My mom works at Disneyland now actually, and she got me in contact with somebody who has their own talent agency.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a for sure
Pursue
you know,
it
for
and-
sure with my chest out. Get my headshots and fucking start
Own it.
pursuing that shit. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
does creating content on your 2G's page like scratch that itch for you a little bit?
For
like,
sure.
give you
That's
that-
what it's been. And like this whole 2G's thing, I think was like almost like a alter ego for that itch where I could like my earliest itches were like I was trying to make music just because like you don't know what this itch is. Like I'm always good in front of a mic and stuff, and you just initially think, okay, music because you're a rapper. But like my voice is kind of whack and like I just didn't sound good on music. So like, cool, it's not that. But then like that kind of hurt, you know, because it's like, fuck, like.
Auto tune.
Yeah, now. I mean, hey, I might,
Got
shoot, I
T-Pain
might,
it.
yeah, I might get back in there. It's never too late. But I think I was just confusing. I think like the common itch was something of maybe me just being me in front of people and, you know, and just hoping people kind of get something out of it. But along the way, you learn trials and true. Like photography, I jumped into that and I could do photography. I feel like I'm meant to be in front of the camera, you know. But I had to learn photography. I had to take those classes. I have to learn how to edit photos, edit videos to even do my content now.
Yeah.
You know.
I think every single one of those creative fields and all that stuff though all plays a vital role in finding out what you do want to do for two reasons, right? Because I think that you're finding out, okay, that's not the right fit for me, but now I know some of the nuances of that industry, so I can take, okay, if I'm going to be an actor, I know how to work with musicians, I know how to work with photographers, I know what they're looking for, so let me do my thing the right way, and like it'll help you excel even further, you know?
That's really true because people could be like an introvert, right? But they want to get into like creating content.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're good editors. Maybe they could put a video together or tell a story, or they're good writers, you know? But like you said, you kind of have to go through that. So where now I'm editing this video for how long? Like, no, that's just not for me. But I have to know how to do it to be independent with my content and your business and everything. So you still have to like, you know.
And even if you like in your business, right? Let's say you want to create content, you want to do a campaign, and you want to hire video editors. You now know how to edit videos. So if you get something back and you're like, nah, this ain't right, you know how to speak to them in a way to be like, hey, let's do this, and you make the process easier, simpler, you know, quicker, cheaper, everything, because you have the knowledge now.
You're so right now.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm doing with another error I made. Not error, but the tabletop shop took a long time to launch because I was trying to do everything myself. I was trying to learn how to build a website, learn how literally, I kid you not, I learned how to do everything. And now looking back, it's like, I'm going to pay someone to do my website. I'm going to pay someone for the package, you know, and just kind of, like you said, I'm able to speak to them and they're sending stuff back, or they're sending the logo back or the website back. And now I'm like, my previous knowledge or somewhat knowledge, you know, I'm able to come, oh, cool, this is a good start, but I was thinking more of this way.
Yeah.
And explain it to them in a respectful and like a way that they understand my language too.
Right. That's
funny.
important. That's cool. So all this stuff that you learned with your new business, are you now like dishing it out, hiring contractors like, hey, I got my website guy, I got my logo guy, I got my...
I one day, I really want to. I'm so like hands-on. Like I just have to cover everything. Like with me, I don't want no one to do it, or if they do it or touch it, like I need to be involved. But I hear two people gave me advice where like you can't scale a business like that. You'll never scale if you can't trust people, or if you want to have your hands in, like you're never going to scale. So I know that's something I'm going to have to overcome. But, you know, luckily I got my girl. Yeah. And she's going to be the first one that, you know, I hand stuff off to. And if I can't trust her now, then shit, you know, it's, yeah, like, what are we doing? So that's going to be good practice to, like, hand shit off.
You're right, though. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, even myself, too, when I started, you kind of want to take on, like, everything.
You want to learn, too.
Yeah. You know, but then you find yourself like actually doing it, right? And you're like up at 2 a.m, like, oh shit, I don't know anything about websites, you know? Exactly. Even if you do watch a YouTube video, it's like, oh shit, there's always something that comes up and it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this, you know?
Yeah.
So I think finding that happy medium, like between the two, and delegating your time, but also I think it came down to me in the beginning, like I didn't want to put up any money, right? I'm like, oh, like let me learn it myself, right? You know? And again, once you start investing, you know, your money, that's when it's really going to come out for you, you know, for everyone that starts their business.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. Yeah, that's something I'm definitely gonna get better, you know, and learn. It's just natural, bro, because it's like, especially the Dreams and Loans, like this clothing brand, it's like, it's an extension of me. Not to say the tabletop isn't, but there's a lot more like personality and like me in this.
What brands inspired you, like, growing up?
Man, obviously Nike, like, just as far as like being the GOAT or the one in their industry. Yeah. As years went on, probably Supreme, just for like their weight, just like the consumerism of just getting people hooked on a brand that's no different than your brand. It's just how it's rolled out, or the quantities, just like, or the people wearing it. Yeah. So, you know, those are a couple, but I'm doing my best to not consume as much content, because I find myself getting too inspired, and like I start to lose who I am, which is normal. But yeah, I'll find myself, like, if I'm getting inspiration or stuff and you're scrolling and then all of a sudden I'm trying to make a design for a shirt and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's cool. Like, this isn't even me. Like, I basically copied someone else's aesthetic, you know? Yeah. So like for this, I'm doing my best to, like, all the inspiration is going to come from like this Halloween drop or capsules coming from early 2000s and my memories of Halloween. You know, of just, I love Halloween. I love October and fall. It reminds me of watching Disney movies with my mom. Yeah. So like I was going to get into this anyways, but with the drops, we're also going to be doing short films.
Oh, cool.
So that's where I'm getting to itch my little acting out. And I'm talking like the goal is like really, really high quality. Well, yeah, high quality. Fuck it. The goal's super high. Yeah. I was gonna downplay it. No,
own that shit.
Yeah, the goal's like super high
freaking
quality.
cinema camera.
Yeah, like one minute short films that kind of tell a story with the product. So nice. We have like a trick or treat tote bag. There's gonna be a short film about, you know, maybe some trick or treaters. We have a couple shirts that have some cool designs that will have a story attached to it. And yeah, I'm just gonna do my best and be confident in myself to tell my story my way, you know, the way I want it.
Yeah.
Because that's just when things work the best for me.
That's what it's all about.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dude, and I want to touch back on what you said, because I don't know. I think you guys will enjoy it. Agree with me too. When you're up at like 2 a.m., you know, working on the website, Photoshop and stuff, in a way, it's frustrating, right? It's like, fuck, I can't get this. I need to figure it out. Why am I not getting this? But it's also like so liberating and exciting too. Like
it's a process.
During those days, yeah, I don't really stay up that late anymore. But when I did, it's just like I freaking loved it. Like I was just so zoned in. Like
that's why you're up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, right? Like it was so good. You guys agree? Like when you have those days,
yeah. Because how many people would be like, "Fuck this, I'm going to bed, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go party."
Like the process of starting the tabletop shop were a lot of nights like that. Man, some nights I hesitated the whole thing, and I'm already thousands of dollars deep in products and just everything. And I remember just like still almost hesitating. So I feel people when they understand, like, just not starting.
Yeah.
Because I literally halted the brand for like 6 months But now it's like, dang, if I started 6 months earlier, I'd be 6 months ahead of where I'm at now, you know? But a lot of late nights, a lot of like butterflies in the stomach of like, people are even gonna like this, and like, but it's worth it though, you know? It's worth it getting through all that.
It even gets to the point where like you wake up in the morning, it's like, holy crap, I can't wait to get through work today so I can come back to sit on the computer and do it all over again. It's like that process is exciting.
Even you with the Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, dude.
That was cool.
Last night I went on a walk too. And I hatch ideas, bro. I didn't throw on any headphones. I just wanted to be in my thoughts, just like late night sounds, whatever, right? And I got another idea for a business. I'm like, I've been trying to think of a new business idea for a long time now.
So hit me with it. Let me be the first. Be
inspired.
I'll tell you after the podcast. I'll throw it down for you. But
no free game.
But damn, like, and that shit excited me. Like, I came back. I told my fiance. I didn't even tell her what it was yet. But I'm like, I'm freaking excited. Like, I love going on walks because like, it just. I woke up thinking about it today. I'm like, I need to do this. Like, I need to start.
So how's your guys' like health, like mental, like talking health? How's your guys' like mental health as far as like what you guys do?
I'm like on
how important is that?
Oh, it's incredibly important for one. I'm happy to say that like I'm completely healthy, happy with everything that I'm doing, like internally with the way everything's going in life, right? Like I have no complaints or anything about it. I think it's incredibly important, especially for others around there, which is why like when I have guests like yourself on or other guests, like you're up at 5-6 a.m. every day to get a workout in. And I always push that on a lot of the last late episodes. It's like, if you guys aren't taking care of yourself physically, you're not going to feel right up here and you're not going to perform well. So like,
it's a common theme for sure.
This guy is down probably like 20 pounds now?
22.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Solid,
hell
dude.
yeah.
My honestly, my mental, like when I got into real estate, I was super motivated. Like nothing was gonna stop me. Like I was like just in the office every day.
Hungry.
Type thing. Yeah, just super hungry. I was doing open houses on a Wednesday. You know, everyone does them on the weekends. I would be Wednesday, 2 p.m. to like 6, like twilight open houses, you know. So I was just grinding. And then, you know, along the way, right, you kind of get lost a little bit. I had some things happen, like my best friend from high school passed away. Different things happened, you know, with my family and stuff, and you kind of lose track. But now the last like year, it's been getting a lot better. Now we're doing 75 hard, and my whole mental state is like really good right now. Yeah, but definitely the physical part, I think that's the part I was definitely missing, because right now I feel super great.
I feel like that's almost like a prerequisite, like what's that word?
Prerequisite.
Yeah, like for doing anything, almost anything outside the norm, or anything creative or entrepreneur, like
to performing at your highest and best.
Yeah, get your mind right, your physical right.
Yeah.
Like,
what does that look like
everything.
for you? Tell us about your routine when it comes to that, and were there certain times where you realized like, damn, this ain't working. Like, I need to switch up. I need to work out. I need to change this.
For sure,
Tell us about it.
Like, well, first, I played sports my whole life. So I was always relatively in shape from, all year-round sports. And then you go to college and you're working. Like, I've always worked a job with at least like 35 or 30 hours, Yeah. I was always working as much. I just needed the money to survive, So I always worked a lot. And then I went to college. Full-time student. I had no time to work out. I wasn't into weightlifting or nothing, so I gained right now I'm like 155. My heaviest was like 180, and I'm relatively like short, so like you look kind of funny like when you're a little on the heavier side. So literally like that was like one of the lower points in my life, but snapped into it. I was like, bro, like how could you you gotta take care of yourself, you know, but. Throughout like the past 5 years, there's like little on and offs, but since we've moved into my place and we have a home gym, man, I've been in that place. I've been in there like 5 days a week minimum. There's no excuse anymore. Yeah. And I have to do it in the morning because it just clears the mind. It gets the day out. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like if I work out later, like I'm getting distracted. My phone might be blowing up. I can't work out like at 10 or 11, even though it's ideal because my emails, you know, just like the day's already starting. So like if I'm up at 5, I'm like ahead of everybody, and I'm on East Coast time, you know,
For work?
or just in general,
because you're waking up.
This is like my thinking, right? So like the average person wakes up at 7.
Mm-hmm.
If I wake up at 5, I'm 2 hours ahead of them. So I'm gonna use those 2 hours for, you know, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna journal, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna get all my ideas out, I'm gonna shower, but before anything. So now I have like a whole self-care routine. I'm taking care of myself before an average person wakes up. So now at 7 o'clock, we're all on the same time. The only difference is I had, you know, all that, you know, I had like a whole 2 hour self-care time alone or with my girl. And then studies show after 9 p.m., people aren't even productive.
Yeah.
People are watching TV, they're having dinner, they're laying down, they're relaxing after 9. So that means if you woke up at 7, let's say you go to bed at midnight, from 9 to midnight, you're probably just not doing anything. But if I go to bed at 10, from 9 to 10 is my chill time. So now I'm only not doing anything for an hour. So now I'm like 2 hours ahead in the morning, and I'm still getting the same amount of sleep you guys are, because you guys are I don't want to stereotype. This is just my mental, guys. I don't want to stereotype anybody.
The average person.
But the average person could be just bullshitting from 9 to midnight. Let me just get some rest so I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
And that mentality just like flipped my whole life. And if that person that wakes up at 7 does work out, then he's taking 2 hours out of his day somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
And chances are it's going to be work, or maybe their side hobby or family time. So yeah, that mentality just flipped everything for me.
I feel that. I feel that.
Once you start with the fitness and the health, then it just goes like there's no coincidence like successful people work out or have a consistent
routine.
It doesn't even have to be lifting weights, or like do a yoga on Monday, go for a run, like go for a hike with your friends, like just mix it up. Like it doesn't have to be like the whole gym bro shit that I'm on, but like the message is like people that are successful prioritize their health, they prioritize their mental health, they prioritize all that stuff. So like I tell my brothers, like watch what those people do, because you know they know some stuff we don't. Look at what they're eating. Look at what they're doing. Man. Yeah, look at what they're not eating or what they're not doing, because you know there's it's a whole other story.
If you want what they have, why would you not do what they're doing?
That's that's my mentality.
That's a big if.
Like, and that's the whole process part that we were talking about. Like that whole process of starting a business and like those late nights is like, I felt like I was like Pharrell or Kanye in like a documentary where it's like, I have all these ideas and this is like that first, you know, my first start in a way. And that's how I legit felt, especially like when I'm recording or anything. It's like, bro, this is going to be a documentary one day.
Yeah. That was crazy too.
You have to think like that.
That Kanye documentary.
That was cool too.
Because, you know, it's just crazy because I know a lot about, like, I watched a lot of documentaries like on, you know, Rockefeller and Jay-Z and how Damon Dash found Kanye. When I saw that, I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro.
So Kanye's a big inspiration for me, not necessarily like ignoring all like antics and whoever people think about him, but he's one person that manifested the life he wanted. Like he was saying he was the GOAT. He was saying he was the best dressed, the flyest. He's going to be the most influential. He never said the best rapper and stuff, but he always carried himself like he's going to be that person. And I feel like him carrying himself that way forced all of us to look at him that way, because that's who he is. That's how he carried himself. So now if you apply that to your life and whatever you want to do, and if you carry and talk the way that is, I mean,
it goes
you
back,
are that.
It goes back to what you said before, like not owning, like being an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta
like with your chest out. It's like from the get-go, Kanye always said like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the greatest.
His
all
confidence
this,
was on
Yeah,
the whole level.
so confidence
His confidence
mixed with
was
like
crazy.
the philosophy that people are going to start viewing you, mixed with what I know and believe is manifestation too. Like you create the reality, you create the life you want. Like that's what I think.
And he kept saying he was a rapper, like, because everyone saw him as a producer.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna rap. Like, I'm gonna rap.
Yeah,
like,
he's one person I look at like when I'm feeling like down or I'm feeling some type of way. It's like, no, like this itch inside of me. Like I'm not crazy for feeling the way I feel, you know. And there's a lot of people that feel the same way. And like Kanye is one of those people where he felt that way his whole life since he was a kid. His mom, like, you know, I kind of relate to that. I don't know what that end goal is, and it might not be anything I'm doing right now, but the path might be necessary to get there, you know?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Do you kind of think the same way?
Yep.
With everything that's happened to you thus far, it's like it's all led you to here.
For sure. If I don't experience traumatic events and have a hard upbringing, I don't have the same engine and motor I have. My back isn't against the wall. You know, like even just little things like that. I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of successful people go through traumatic events and have a tough upbringing and have, you know, all those stories, because it builds you a certain way. Like I'm just built different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Even to my brothers, because my brothers have a different upbringing than I do. So they have totally different personalities. And I think, you know, that might be an upbringing, even though we're related and we look alike.
Totally. How much younger than are they?
A big gap, like 22 and 20. And I'm 27. Not big.
5 years. I mean, it still makes a big difference, especially you're the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a huge difference.
Think of like, you know, role model, older brother, trying to like, you know, I'm packing my lunch and their lunch, and my mom's working 2 jobs, like you know, that like literally, you know, that type of stuff. But people, like, I've never shared these stories because I was always so like embarrassed of who I was. And I look back, man, if you're watching this and you're like embarrassed of like what you experienced or your life, or if you grew up poor, like that shit is for a reason, and use that for your advantage. Like I'm grateful for that, because I see the world so different, where if let's say you make it big one day, right? But you came from a low income family, you're going to have those morals and values that you were raised on because you knew what it takes to get there. Ideally, you raise your kids in the same light. But what I think goes wrong is when kids get raised the opposite way and they come from money, it's not their fault either. Like, we'd all love to come from money, you know? Yeah. But unfortunately, like, the values and the pressure and the life circumstances aren't the same. And there's some studies done on it.
They're
you
really
know?
not. I mean, it's funny. This is kind of a funny, like, part of that, I guess you'd say. You know the show Shark Tank, right? Yeah. I forget which of the investors on there. I think it might have been Mark Cuban, but one of them only invests in entrepreneurs who had a tough upbringing.
It might be Mark Cuban.
I think it was.
So there's some studies about like traumatic events and like from what I've read. I mean, people, don't quote me on nothing. I'm not a fucking professional, but there is a correlation between just like, you can't go really into like too deep into like the psyche, but as far as like motivation and hunger and like the will to be successful and change their circumstance is like a common factor in that, you know, mixed with some other stuff too, you know, and for sure. But I do believe that everything kind of preps you and builds you.
Definitely.
And like with all fairness too, most people who have a tough upbringing, they always blame it on why they didn't make it. You know? So you can either use it on why you didn't, or use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And take
easy
advantage.
to say that too. Like
so many people.
Things are either happening to you or they're happening for you.
Yeah, and they're happening. Yes. You control it. Like think of it. Yeah, like you're not walking around in life and things aren't happening to you. Like they're happening because of you or for you or even against you. But it's like based on like you. And karma's a real thing. Yeah, no, for real. Like all this shit's really serious. But like, see, that's the stuff I can't like give for free because it's like, yeah. I'm just kidding. But
for the low price of $9.99, every single month, ladies and gentlemen, you can subscribe. All right, so wrapping things up a little bit here, man. For people out there who want to scratch an itch, who want to be an entrepreneur, want to be an actor, want to be a creative artist, anything, give us like your top 3 tips, no particular order, of what's needed or things you've learned along the way for those people who want to pursue.
Number 1's confidence. You have to be confident, bro. Some days, unfortunately, some days break me because I just didn't wake up confident, or I just don't feel like myself, or I don't feel like I can make cool clothes, or I don't feel like no one's gonna buy from my tabletop shop. So for what I notice is you need to just have confidence in one, your ability, but also that itch too. Like it's not a coincidence. Like you can't half step. You gotta fully dive into that and be confident in who you are and not be afraid to kind of, be different and not fit in. Yeah. Like be confident in who you are and what you like. And I'm just realizing that now, and I fucking regret it, because who knows? I could have been doing this shit 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
now,
one.
Where would you say confidence comes from? How does someone get confident?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, it's this underlining feeling that what I do can work, or what I am is me. It's like I'm barely figuring this shit out too. Like I barely really started kind of diving into more of like the spiritual and mental health and just health wise stuff. But yeah, man, just I feel like confidence is also like it extends from your mental health as well, because that all lives in your brain and how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the things you do. But you just can't break that faith and confidence that you have deep down in yourself of that one thing you want to do. For sure.
I think for me too, it's just constantly showing up, right? If you want to do something and you're constantly around people that are doing it, or just constantly learning about one thing, you become confident, right? Because you know it.
Good point. Yeah, you don't even. Larry June had an interview. He's one artist I listen to a lot too, because of what he talks about, and it was like you need to hear that shit to change your like reality and like just be positive. But he said like you don't really need to work as hard as you do. You just got to be consistent. And like that hit me on so many levels, because I'm gonna keep it real. There's some days where I felt super busy or shit were hectic, but it's like, damn, I could have went harder, or I lollygagged all day. But shit, I worked out. It was a half-assed workout, but I was down there. Okay, I attempted to make something. It was half-assed, but like I attempted. So I'm a believer in that too, where if you just show up every day, you're gonna progress in some way.
1%
whether that's
every day.
Technical or mental or just your will to stay at something, you're gonna progress.
It's number one, confidence. What's number two?
Confidence. I'd say 2, being consistent. And the last one, I'm gonna say empathy, because the world is a lot easier to maneuver and understand when you're kind of viewing it with empathy and humanity in mind. Because at the end of the day, man, we're all people. And I feel like that having my values and morals like intact and not like wavering them allowed me to leave positive impressions on people, meet the right people, move the right way, avoid karma that comes my way. Just be a good person. Like we're all people, So confidence. Be confident, be consistent.
Be empathetic.
Yeah, and be empathetic to people, man. And hopefully a mix of those 3 things and some dedication might, get you somewhere further than you are now. And it might not even be a journey thing. It might just be you feeling good about yourself.
On top of that, just get started too. That's one other thing.
Just start. Yeah, for sure.
I have one last question for you, man, before we let you go. You probably, if you've listened to a couple podcasts, like I think you listened to Dos Mas one, you probably know what the question is. But we can go back to a time in your life, right? We're gonna go back to 22-year-old Reggie when just turned down a job, and now he's having to leave this great organization of the WNBA at the Sparks. And you back then were a little naive, right? But if you were your age now, you'd probably be shitting bricks. If you can go back to that time and tell yourself one thing, what would you tell yourself?
I would go back first to 2013. Sometime in the spring of 2013, I was in my room crying, and just something hit me. Like, no lie, I'd never forget this day, but just something spoke to me like, you're going to be cool. You're going to be good. Like keep going. I was like a junior in high school, going to be a senior in high school. and like my life kind of switched there. So I would tell myself like, keep going, or like, you're right, or like whatever I remembered in that moment, like don't waver from that. And then at the Sparks, I would say something similar where like, follow your heart. Like you're not going to be happy if you chase money.
Nice. I like that. I like that because I heard this quote once, just to add to that, to what you said. A man has 2 lives, and the second one begins when he realizes he just has one.
Man,
you gotta let that
true.
sit and think about it, right? I heard that, and I'm not sure who.
I feel like that was the beginning of
a
a movie or something.
No, this was on a Joe Rogan podcast. It was some sort of entrepreneur, philosopher, philanthropist who said it. I forget who he was. South Asian, I think Indian.
Say it again.
A man has 2 lives, and the second one starts when he realizes he just has one.
And I feel like I've had like 4 of those moments, and one of them I left the Sparks on the last. So this is the last day I leave the Sparks, and mind you, I'm going on video. It's crap, man. We need we're running out of time. But yeah, man, I remember crying driving home from the Sparks in Culver City on my last day, just full of regret. And I've had 4 or 5 of these like little kind of moments like that I'll just never forget.
Yeah.
But shit, man, things happen for a reason.
Yeah. There's a lot more to say, a lot more to discuss. Maybe we'll have you back on. You'll
Part
be our
2.
first time second guest, returner.
No, for sure. Once
or you start your own podcast and
sure, bring you guys in and you guys can talk about what you do. For sure.
Definitely.
We got to for sure run something back, especially when some of these things come to fruition and we can have some things to pull on.
Yes. So let everybody know where can we follow you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, pretty much you could head to my Instagram at TwooGees. Everything's going to be in the bio there. If you want some fly home decor, check out the tabletop shop. If you want some cool, I don't even want to say what's going to be coming, but a cool clothing brand, check out Dreams and Loans. And then check out my content. I'm going to be more consistent on there and try to get back in the groove and balance everything I'm doing.
Yeah. Sick. So we'll put all his stuff, links and everything down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, wherever you're watching or listening on. Be sure to leave us a review if you're on Spotify, Apple, anything like that. Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube. All those things are all welcome. And our DMs are open. It's not always easy to get back to you within 1, 2, 3 days, but send us a DM if you have a question, if you want to come on. Reggie came on because he DM'd me. Yep. Like he's like, I would love to come on and speak on this stuff.
Yeah, actually I was like, yo, can I come on? I feel like I got some shit to say.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have an outlet to, talk some of the stuff we talked about.
And it's good. And I'm glad you did. We're glad you came on. We appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your stories and everything that you're working on. So
yeah, for real.
We're excited for you, man. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see the growth. I can't wait to see the drop of your new business and how that stuff goes for you. And yeah, man. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Reggie. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys.
We'll see you guys on the next one.